Hey, I'm ErinChoBurrito. This is my friend Rachel's shirt. Welcome to my channel. I like to tell stories and that's why I'm here. I hope you enjoy them. I'm about to tell you a story about how I broke my ankle. Let's get started. Pull yourself together. All right, so it was like late September. This guy, he was my coworker, and he had this thing called a one wheel. And if you don't know what a one wheel is, it's like a skateboard, but it has the one wheel, get it, in the center of the board, and it's like motorized and it like stabilizes you, and it's really freaking dope. I rode the one wheel at work. I was great at it, obviously. I had just bought a longboard to get around campus because my friend Thomas had this longboard, and I was like, bruh, let's be skater dads. We both showed up to school with our longboards and like dad shirts and dad shorts and Converse and like tall socks, and like dad glasses, sunglasses, and we literally just like rode around campus yelling dad things. Like at one point I was riding my longboard and then I fell off and the board went and like almost hit someone, and I like ran to get it and I grabbed the board and I looked at them and I went, "I'm really sorry, I'm a skater dad," and then I ran away. So I had a longboard, he had a one wheel, and we were like, let's go ride boards. Met at his apartment because it's right next to the mall, and we rode over to the mall. And since his one wheel was motorized, on the way to the mall, he held my hand and like dragged me. I suck at like pushing off of skateboards. We went all the way to the mall. We got Starbucks. He had a spicy chicken sandwich from Stone Oven, and he was dying because it was too spicy, which is like, it's not a spicy sandwich. It shouldn't even be called spicy chicken sandwich because it's not spicy. He was eating his spicy chicken sandwich and we were talking, and he started talking about like motorcycle accidents he'd been in and like broken bones he'd had, and he went, "I still have a screw in my elbow." You know, like guys talk. In my head, I was like, man, I've never broken a bone. That's something you would say to continue the conversation and like, you know, like conversate. I made the conscious decision not to because I didn't want to jinx that. I didn't want to be like, "I've never broken a bone," and then like go break a bone, like, you know, like an idiot. So I didn't say anything, and then I had to go to work. I teach tap dance to little kidlins. That's a word I've never said before. There was a crosswalk. Somehow we got split up. I wanted to catch up with him. I gave myself this really big push, you know, like how you're not supposed to do on longboards. Right when I pushed off, my board hit a rock. Objects in motion stay in motion. My board stopped, but like I kept going. So I pushed off and then I hit a rock and my foot was still like this, okay? And I remember I had this split second thought that was like, you should just like tuck and roll. But the thing is, I was wearing a tank top, and I was like, I don't want to scrape my arms. I was like, I can just jump off. I'm a dancer. Agility. Foot was like this, and I went to step off, but I stepped off with the foot that was like already close to the ground. But the thing is, it was pointed down like this. It wasn't like ready to be stepped on. The rubber of my Converse got stuck in the asphalt. I went to step down on a foot that wasn't ready to be stepped on, but I had so much momentum that there was no other choice. I stepped onto my ankle. My foot went like that, laid down against, this is the asphalt. My foot went, my ankle actually hit the ground. There was a scrape on my ankle. Anyway, I heard this loud crack. My ankle took the entire fall, so I literally went, and I just gasped, and then I was sitting on the ground. My ankle broke, and then I sat down. My ankle was like in front of me, and it was dangling, legit, just dangling there, just dangling. I looked down and I looked up. I think I broke my ankle. And so then he started to turn around and he goes, "You think you did what?" "I think I broke my ankle." Right when I said that, in the street, an older couple went to cross the street. The old man of the couple goes, "You what?" I broke my ankle. No question in my mind, I broke my ankle. So then the old man came and rushed around me and like, "I'm gonna put my hands on your back. Can you stand on your good leg?" Yeah, man, whatever. And then Parker by that time had come around with his one wheel. And so he scooped me up, But when he scooped me up, we still had the old man's hands like on my back. And so it's like the three of us like hobbling over to the side of the road. Oh, can I have my hands, please? And I was like, oh, sorry. And I like leaned forward and he got his hands. And then he was gone. Like literally disappeared. Did that old man even exist? Parker and I never talked about the old man. Oh no. We're sitting on the side of the road. Within 5 minutes, I've called all of the important people in my life. I call my mom to come pick me up. There's no way we're getting to the hospital with a one wheel and a longboard. My stage manager, I was the lead in a show at my college. And then I call my boss because in 45 minutes, I'm supposed to be teaching tap. The phone call with my mom went a little something like this. Hey mom, I broke my ankle. The mall, I'm in front of BJ's. I think there's Optics behind me and there's Rocket Fizz. You did what? Can you come get me? Wait, where are you? Where are BJ's and I think Optics is behind me and Rocket Fizz is right there. Okay, I'm on my way. And she was on her way. We're sitting on the side of the road and I look down at my ankle and I'm starting to panic. And Parker goes, don't worry. I'm sure it's just dislocated and they'll just pop it back in and then you'll be on your merry way. Which is not how that works for an ankle. We pull up to the hospital. My mom goes inside. She comes back with just a wheelchair. My right foot's my dominant foot. I don't know how to use my left foot. Gets a technician. Technician comes out. Well, can you use your left leg? Huh, I never thought of that. Like, yes, I can use my left leg. Can you help me out of this car? They wheel me in, they get me on a gurney, and they wheel me straight into a room. And I've never been to an ER, like I've never had an ER visit. It's just a lot of firsts. And the nurse comes in, she's like a brassy woman, you know, like she's one of those women that has like a mug that says like, don't talk to me before I have my coffee, you know, like that, you know. And my mom's like, hey Gail, and I thought they knew each other, but then she just told me like a week ago that she just read her name tag. And she gives me morphine, and she like looks at my ankle and is like, and then walks out. Like, you know, like this woman's seen some stuff. And the doctor comes in. So, you think you broke your ankle? Yeah. Good thing he's a doctor, not a detective, am I right? Wow, I hate myself. All right, we'll get some x-rays and then we'll see what we can do. But let's hope it's not dislocated. Sir, the x-ray technician comes to take me away to get x-rays. And by this point, I have gone into such a severe shock. What? The shock is really bad. And I go into like a shock coma where like I look asleep, but I'm not asleep. Like my brain was still working, but like my body wasn't. But my brain was like, whoa, this is really weird. And I'm listening, but I can't use my body to reply. Can't wait to tell my mom. That's gonna be a funny story. I wasn't in a coma. I don't want to disrespect people that have actually been in comas. I'm sorry. We get x-rays, we come back, and we're waiting. I'd woken up. They gave me morphine, and then I woke up, and then I was like, Mom, guess what? And she just didn't care. The doctor comes in, he flings open the curtain and says, well, it's broken, and it's broken bad. Is this a movie from the 80s? I don't watch movies. He goes, well, you broke this bone, and this bone. You're gonna need surgery. He's like talking about all of this stuff, and I'm like, everything he's saying is going like in one ear, and then my brain's going, and then it's like shooting out the other. And then my mom, trying to make a joke, well, at least it's not dislocated, right? And he goes, well, your ankle is a ball and socket joint, and you broke the entire socket. Your foot has nothing to locate to. So it's not really dislocated, but it's not really located either. You know those days where you're like, this might as well happen? Thanks, John Mulaney. And right as I'm like panicking, they just put me in a splint and they send me home. Remember, my foot is like out of place and they just wrap it up. Shoot. They told me to take ibuprofen or Motrin. Whoa, I'm not wearing my ring. That's something you take for like muscles and like things like, maybe I'm dumb, maybe that's the right thing, but I don't think so. I go home and my foot is propped up on like 2 pillows for that whole night. Every 10 minutes, I jolted awake because of the pain. And when I jolted awake, my bones would clack together. Yeah, I used the word clack because it's gross. It was the worst night of sleep ever. I'm referred to Van Nuys SCOE, and they're like, we're gonna take a new x-rays over your splint. The x-ray technician comes and takes me over, and we're talking, and he asks me how I did it, and I was like, I was skateboarding, and we take new x-rays. And then as we're leaving, he looks at the x-ray, and he just goes, "Huh," and in true skateboarder fashion, he says, "Man, that's a gnarly break." So we get taken back into the room. I'm laying down. This woman comes in. She says, "Can I cut open your splint and check if you have blisters?" Do what? And she was like, usually if a break is bad enough, your skin will start to blister. And so she cuts open my splint, and sure enough, my foot is like so blistered, and it's like an elephant's trunk. It's literally like this big. I'm not even exaggerating. I'm pretty sure that's how big my ankle was. She takes a couple of pictures, she sends them off, and her and a nurse and another woman and all these people start coming in and out of my room. And they keep asking me questions, and they'll come in and ask a question and they'll leave. And they'll come in and ask a question, and it's like different people. And then they'll go outside and they'll talk on the phone, but I can hear them because it's like right outside my room. And so, but I wasn't really like listening, but it was just like they were talking on the phone and they were coming in and they were asking all these questions. Did I eat breakfast? When did I eat breakfast? And what did I have? It was a breakfast burrito, if you're wondering. All of a sudden, an anesthesiologist is in my room. Can someone tell me what's going on? Because I'm confused and concerned. They tell me, Dr. Ferkel, my surgeon's name is Dr. Dick Ferkel, Richard, but I like calling him Dick. They say Dr. Ferkel is out today because it's Rosh Hashanah, but he's rushing over because your break is that bad and we need to do an emergency reduction surgery at 5 when he gets here. I asked him, I was like, okay, what? Basically, for those of you that don't know, a reduction surgery is when they literally put all of the bones back in place. So the anesthesiologist was there, but they couldn't put me under because I ate breakfast, a breakfast burrito with black beans and eggs and cheese. He goes, all right, we're gonna do what's called a nerve block on you. So your leg, the entirety of your leg will be numb for 23 hours, like 18 to 23 hours. That means that they were gonna put my bones back into place while I was awake. And I went, dope, let's do it. To this point, by the way, I have not cried. I have not cried once. I shattered my ankle. I laughed about it and gasped, but I have not cried. They do the nerve block, which was wild because they put, I always forget what this is called. It's when you're pregnant. Ultrasound. They put an ultrasound on the bottom of my leg, and they put a needle in the side of my leg, and they're watching the screen, and they're like slowly, and then they have like, it was like my anesthesiologist was like doing it, and then like another anesthesiologist was like whispering in his ear, and he was like, he would be like, no, higher. Okay, yeah, that's good. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm sitting there, and at first I was like, I'm gonna watch the screen, and then I went, that's my insides, and I went back to my phone. I still haven't cried, and Dr. Ferkel walks in. And he is like this older man, he's kind of hunched, he has glasses, and he was very serious. He like didn't really ask how I was. I don't really remember the first thing he said, but I will never forget what he said next. Somehow we got on the topic that I was the lead in a play. And I went, yeah, I'm the lead in a play and it opens in 2 weeks. And he goes, well, you were the lead in a play. And I started bawling. This role like meant so much to me. And then this nurse ran over and she was like, oh honey, I know it's so scary to be awake during surgery, don't worry. And I looked at her and I was like, I don't care about that. I'm sad because I don't get to play my lead. And then she looked at me like, you dumb actress. Dr. Ferkel comes back and he's like, all right, wheel her in, like checks my foot. And he's like, can you feel this? So we get wheeled into the OR and they're like strapping me down. They put this like tube that blows hot air through my hospital gown. And I'm just laying there. And then the nurse goes to call out my surgery. You know, you've all seen Grey's Anatomy. And she looks at the wall and she goes, all right, this is ErinChoBurrito. And I'm so used to people saying my name wrong. I've never heard Erwin before. But I went and I just said, oh, it's ErinChoBurrito. And all of the doctors in the OR jumped because they're not used to, 1, people being awake, and 2, them saying anything. I feel like it's just common courtesy to like not speak during a surgery that could ruin your life if it's done wrong. Surgery begins and there's like 3 or 4 people like holding down my leg, and Dr. Ferkel is like looking at the x-ray machine, and they're taking an x-ray like every 10 seconds. Every 10 seconds he like does something different to my foot, and I'm laying there, my anesthesiologist is above my head. Dr. Ferkel takes my foot and pops something back into place. It went, and my anesthesiologist was like, what, are you okay? I just felt my foot pop back into place, but it didn't hurt, right? Nope. And he went, my job here is done. Like, he did like the hand thing, comedic relief. And so they popped back all of my bones. There were so many out of place. It was insane. I literally shattered it. Like, it was just blown. It looked like a bomb went off in my ankle. This was Thursday, okay? So from Thursday until Monday, I had to stay in bed and keep my foot elevated. The only time I left my bed was for the bathroom, and I would crutch down the hallway. I could feel my foot pulling away from my leg because, you know, gravity, which was like scurry. Monday, my call time was 8, show time was 10:30. They took me into the like pre-surgery place, and I was getting so antsy, and I like took a nap. 10 o'clock flies by. It's now 12:45. And they take me down for my surgery. Dr. Ferkel turns the corner. He just finished another surgery. He was like in surgery mode. So he turns the corner and just starts cutting open my splint. I was like, oh, hello, welcome to my ankle. He cuts it open, and then he puts his hands in my splint and opens outward. Now here's the problem with that. A splint is they have like plaster that goes down your foot and then like back up the side. So when and my foot was like pointed like this, okay? When he put his hands in the plaster and pulled out, my foot flexed for the first time since I broke it. I yelped. It hurt so bad. And then him and the lady surgeon, I don't remember her name, she helped put me back together. I should know her name. Sorry. They came over and started touching every inch of my ankle. Every inch. I've never been in so much pain in my life. I had my mom's hand on one side and my dad's hand on the other, and it got to the point where it wasn't even like screams or sobs. It was just like, I just like couldn't even fathom the pain, and I had like tears on my eyes, and I was just like, so that happened. So they're touching all of my ankle, and then they start like talking about all the complications. And they're like, oh, well, have you been keeping your foot up? Yes, of course. I listened to my doctors. Okay, well, the swelling hasn't gone down enough. I don't know what to tell you. He's like touching my foot, and he goes, can you feel this? Can you feel this? Can you feel this? And I was like, yeah, no. And he like touched the top of my big toe. You can't feel this? No, I can't feel. I'm freaking out because I'm like, why can't I feel my toe? Well, that means we can't do another nerve block. And he's like saying all these things, and I have come to the realization that I'm not going to surgery today. And right as I say that to myself, they go, wheel her in. I'm being wheeled into surgery, and the anesthesiologist goes, all right, I'm gonna give you something to calm you down. And the last thing I did before I knocked out was I looked at her and I went, and then I knocked out. My surgery was supposed to start at 10, and it was supposed to be a 2.5-hour surgery, and it's 5 p.m. because my 2.5-hour surgery turned into a 4-hour surgery. I wake up, Dr. Ferkel looks at me, and you have 10 screws and a metal plate in your ankle, and what else did he say? Oh, but don't worry, you won't struggle going through airports. Oh yeah, because that's the first thing I was thinking. It totally was. It totally was. Maybe that's because I was still kind of high on anesthesia. So then they say, you can either go home or you can stay here. Get me a room. I was like, I'm going to bed. And they take me to a room. I have to pee so bad. And she goes, all right, and gives me a bedpan. But I couldn't pee. I could not pee. I went through 5 bags. 5 bags of fluid. Maybe it's because I was like stage fright. And so I like asked everybody to leave the room, and then I still couldn't pee. Finally, I was like, I need to sit on the toilet or else I will explode from my gut. My nurse goes, and like stabs my bladder. Nah, you're just not ready. Whoa, no, believe me, I'm ready. Want to know why? Because when you just stabbed my bladder, I almost exploded. I can't pee laying down because I was potty trained. I need a potty. They pull out like a portable potty and they put it next to my bed. I go to stand up and both of the nurses are like, I'm okay. I'm okay. Oh, I left, and I peed for like 12 minutes. I'm like not even kidding. I peed for so long. I don't think I've ever peed that much in my life. So they had put pain meds into my IV and given me like this remote that had a green button on it. From like my thigh down, I was completely numb. And so I couldn't even feel my ankle where they had like cut and sewn and screwed. So they were like, we don't know when you'll feel pain, but on the off chance you do, you have this button to press, and you can press it every 10 minutes when it lights up. And you might want to press it just in case you start feeling something. Basically what I heard is press the button every time it lights up green or you'll die. So every time that button lit up green, I pressed it. Every time. Every time. I think I even like woke up subconsciously, was like, the thing's green, and I'd like wake up and press it and then go back to sleep. And so then the next day I had gone through the entire thing of medication, and it was like strong. Like I don't even know what it was, but it was supposed to be like really strong, like stronger than morphine or something. My doctor came in and he goes, did you press the button? Well, yeah. What? But you can't feel your leg? No. Get that medication out of here. So they like took the thing out of my IV. Like they disconnected me because they were like, you drug addict. So I went home the next day, and then I was bedridden for 20 days. I'm really active. I have 3 jobs. I usually weightlift 5 times a week. I was in rehearsals. Those 20 days was just like, just killer. And I missed 3 weeks of school, and most of my teachers are really cool about it, but one teacher emailed me 3 times, and asked if I wanted to drop the class. The highest grade I got this semester was in her class. I was in a cast for 6 weeks. I was in a walking boot for 3, and I'm in a brace right now for 4. Today's actually the 4th week. Like I just finished the 4 weeks where I was supposed to be in a brace. So yeah, so that's pretty much, that's the life I live. But I went to see Gaslight. It was incredible. The minute I was out, I went back to my job. I was literally sitting in a chair and tapping with my left foot and like verbally teaching. It's crazy. Like literally modern medicine. Wow. You can feel the metal in my ankle too. So like my favorite new party trick is like, hey, so who here wants to feel the metal in my ankle? Most people say no. I think it's cool. I don't know what else to say. Words, it's broken and it's broken bad, like ring in my ears. So thanks for watching. That's my story of me breaking my ankle. I'll probably tell another story next week about something else. I don't know. I just like storytelling. If you like my stories, I know they're like long, subscribe and like this video and share it with your friends. Make fun of me by sharing it and be like, look at this dumb girl who broke her ankle skateboarding. That's my story. I hope you liked it. Yeah, so subscribe, like, share. Tell your friends that you hate me. Or that you love me. Ew, that was gross.